Hey, what's up? I'm Morgan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm talking about how you can mark up your prices for your fashion store, your online fashion shop, whatever it is that you want to call it. If you have merchandise, you need to know how to price your items in order for you as the business owner to make a profit. So I'm going to start with my first example, which is for clearly fashion boutique owners or online shop owners. When you are buying your clothes, most likely you are buying wholesale pieces. So with wholesale pieces, most brand owners just double the cost of what they paid per item from the wholesaler. So let's just say you went to a wholesaler, you purchased a two-piece set, and that two-piece set came up to $18. What you want to do with that two-piece set is mark up that item from $18 to $36 because that's double. So when you double the price, you now have a new profit margin, which is that $36 for that two-piece set. And then you don't want to forget this step. This is a step most boutique owners forget. I've seen people say, I don't add in shipping costs or anything like that. I'm like, well, you're kind of losing money if you don't. So what you want to do after you have your cost that's doubled, meaning it's $36 now, what you want to do is add in the price of all of your shipping supplies, meaning your mailers that you mail your clothing in, the Ziplocs if you're using the Ziplocs to secure the clothing, the tissue paper, wrapping paper, if you use that, you want to add in the cost of that. If you're using promotional items like thank you cards and stickers and things like that, you want to add in the cost of all of that. If you're adding like free gift with purchase, you also want to add what you charge for that free gift so that you can continue to add free gifts to the next orders and the next orders that come in after a long period of time. So I'm just going to round it off and say that all of those little supplies, the shipping supplies and your promotional items, will cost you about $5, because once you break down the actual price per piece of your shipping supplies, it would usually, if you're going the more affordable route, it would usually come up to about like 7 cents or 6 cents, and then you double the price of that as well, and that's how you come up with like that $5 figure now. So you're adding the $36 and the $5 from your promotional items, and now you have a $41 two-piece set. That is usually what you're going to use on your website. You're going to put $41. Okay, now if you just want a better number, you can round it off and you can say $40, or you can put $45. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with putting $41. I'm just saying, if you have one of those sites and your customer's like, why would you put something for $42.99? Like, because that's what it costs. But you know what I'm saying. You can round it off if you choose. So that's the first one. Now, the second type of pricing is going to come down to basically your niche. It's going to come down to your market. It's literally market value, and that is competitor pricing. If you have a niche, let's say, I don't know, you're into sneakers and you have a complete custom sneaker brand. You're selling custom sneakers to your audience. If you're selling custom sneakers to your audience, what you want to do is scope out whoever else is selling custom sneakers to their audience. Look at the type of shoe. If you're selling the exact same type of shoe, look at what people are paying for that, because that's the field and the range you kind of want to stay within, especially if you're not well known. You notice that if you're super popular and you're well known, you can put whatever price you want because you have that celebrity value and people are going to pay no matter what. But if you are strictly just starting off and you're building up your brand and you're trying to do market value, even though you might use like cheaper supplies or you don't have the same quality, but you know that your audience is that audience, when it comes to competitive pricing, you want to stay within your market, meaning don't try to shoot your shot with a $25 item and everybody else is selling theirs for $25 and $30. You don't want to try to shoot your shot and try to sell your product for like $90. There's no conversion there. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. Again, you don't have the celebrity value. You can't just be marking up your prices all willy-nilly. Now, another thing with competitive pricing, if you know the market, and you should know the market inside and out before you even go live or launch your brand, What you want to do with competitive pricing is make sure that you can actually compete. Meaning it's okay to mark your price a little bit lower than your competitor, because that means that your customer conversion might be a little bit more because more people are paying for your lower price point. I'm not saying sell it for free, okay? I'm saying stay within a competitive range, know your audience, know the customer, and that way you'll know how to actually mark up your items. I would say competitive pricing is really good for brands that are like customized type brands. You're customizing t-shirts, you're customizing shoes, you're customizing hair accessories, you're customizing handbags. It's not something that you can actually go to the wholesaler and be like, oh, do this. It's you're doing it yourself, basically. And so competitive pricing really works for that type of niche. It also works for boutiques again, but when it comes to fashion boutiques, they tend to be trendy. So you might have Fashion Nova, who's like huge and they're a fast fashion brand, but you are just starting off as an independent brand. You don't want to try to compete with the Fashion Nova prices, because Fashion Nova has the option to make their prices really, really, really cheap because they're selling ridiculous amount. As opposed to you, who's just starting, you actually need to double your prices because you need to make a profit. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, now the next thing that you want to pay attention to, I'm looking at my notes, by the way, so I don't forget anything. Yeah, I have notes. So the next thing you want to make sure when you're doing your pricing is making sure that your inventory is top priority. Okay, and this goes into the retail versus the online pricing. Now, the retail type shops that I'm talking about are in-store shops, like stores that you can physically walk into, like Forever 21. You can physically walk into that store. If you're in LA, all those boutiques and everything that are in Fairfax and Melrose districts, you can physically walk in and you can see exactly what brands those stores are selling. I promise you, most of those stores are shopping downtown. So even if you are not in LA, you can go online to, I think it's LA Fashion or Wholesale something. I'll put it in the description box. It's where everybody shops for the wholesalers. All the wholesalers are on there. You can pretty much find whatever you want. If you're out of state, there's a lot of brands that still shop from the LA Wholesale Mart and get their items shipped to whatever state that they're in. So you can see what brands other shops are using. You can just literally look it up. Most of them don't even change the tag. Okay, so when it comes to retail pricing versus online pricing, you could have a competitive edge in that sense also. That has a little bit to do with market value as well, but understand that if you're trying to compete with an online store, it's going to take you a little bit to get there, because online stores usually mark up their pricing by like, they try to get like a 60% value out of it, meaning they're buying wholesale for like $5, $10, but in the store they're selling it for like $50, $60. They're trying to get a lot from what they paid the wholesaler. So again, with you being an online store, even if you have the exact same products, the demand is not as great as someone being able to physically walk into the store, touch the clothes, feel the clothes, you know, try on the clothes and pay that price. You have to be crazy creative with your marketing and just be on your game with your advertisements and how you do, like for real, like your promo. And that way, when it comes to your customers, you have to know your customer, and maybe you can mark your item up just a little bit higher than your actual online competition, because now you know what's going down in the stores. So you can also make extra money by marking it more than double, and you can still win. You can still make money off of just competing with physical stores. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is cut and sew. Now, cut and sew designers have it fairly different from people who buy from wholesalers, because cut and sew, if you don't know what that term is, it's basically people that design start to finish their own patterns, their own fashion trends, styles, and things like that. Like for myself, I do cut and sew myself. I do pattern making and all that stuff. I do not go through a manufacturer. I do it all myself. So your girl be tired, but it's totally worth it, because it's your actual designs that are on people's bodies. You know, it's the ultimate reward, to be honest. And so for cut and sew designers, the pricing is different. You have to calculate the price of your materials in whole, like the entire thing. Don't skip nothing, okay? Meaning if you're paying for fabric, take the price of that fabric and write it down. Once you start making your patterns, you have to do the yardage. So it's basically the price of your fabrics times the yardage, divided by the yardage, and then it's the other materials like the thread, the elastic, the buttons, all of that stuff you're going to calculate into your price. The edge with cut and sew designers versus boutique owners who buy wholesale, a cut and sew designer can mark their product up because it's exclusive. Cut and sew designers have the exclusivity to making so much more money than the average boutique. Now, the downfall about being a cut and sew designer is you probably won't be able to produce as fast as somebody that's buying wholesale. But again, it comes down to exclusivity. It comes down to your customer wanting your actual style and your brand. So when it comes to your pricing, even though let's say your one item might come up to like $30, you can sell that $30 item because it's exclusive to you and your brand. You can sell that $30 product for like upwards of $100 because again, you're designing it, you know? So it comes down to what you think is right. It also comes down to what you think the value of your brand is. It comes down to your actual customer. You don't want to be trying to sell your designs for $150 if you know that your actual customer can only afford that $50 and under mark. You don't want to do that to your customer. You're going to lose customers. It's going to be awkward for a while. You're going to have to rebuild and things like that. But again, everything isn't for everybody. So if you want an exclusive brand, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to you. Now, the last thing I kind of want to touch on, and I feel like this is a big part about pricing, is your discounts. Okay, now, you don't want to continuously offer people discounts. You are going to have a shop that is based on customers that are only here for discounts. So they will never trust the price that you put as the original price if you are constantly offering discounts. Now, with that being said, if you have an item, you've been trying to sell it now forever, you know it's not really moving, the inventory is not moving, your best bet is to drop the price down by percentages, obviously 20%, 25%, I don't know, like whatever it is that's gonna work for your shop. But the goal is to break even at the end of the day, okay? So again, back to that $18 product that you bought wholesale, it was $18. You don't want to go below 50% because that means you're making less than what you paid for the original item, which means you're actually losing money rather than making money. The best thing that you can do for inventory that's just not moving is to slowly go down in percentage to see where that cushion is, to see where people are like, oh, okay, 30%, okay, that's it. At least you're still making profit off of that. But if you go below 50%, it's like bankrupt. You paid for that product for nothing. And you can always do re-strategizing for your brand by changing the image of that item, meaning redo a photo shoot or something like that. That way you don't have to go that far down on the discount scale. Okay, so that's what I have to say about pricing. It's really not that difficult. I just say know your brand and know your customer, and that way you can price effectively, because it'll let you know if you can price higher or lower, or if you can price at a price point that's going to actually move your inventory. When it comes to pricing, it comes down to how much inventory you can move, to be honest. So try your hardest to double that profit and not having to break even. So pick products accordingly so that you're not losing money, because as a new business owner or a new brand owner or boutique owner, money is literally everything when you start off. So I hope you guys enjoyed my tips. I hope you guys took something away from this. Go down to the comment section. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a comment down there. I want to pick your brains a little bit. But also, if you have a shop, an online shop, I feel like that's a good place to tag it, put the website, put the link, I don't know, do what you got to do to promo yourself. Okay, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Make sure you guys like this video by giving it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button, because why not? why not? You made it this far, okay? Subscribe. But I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.